escuches. Buenos días a todos. Quisiera darles la bienvenida y agradecerles su presencia. Ya podemos ir acomodándonos, estamos prontos a iniciar. Muchas gracias. Buenos días a todos. Tras la verificación del quórum por parte de la Secretaría, declaro abierta la presente sesión protocolar del Consejo Permanente, convocada a solicitud de la Misión Permanente del Ecuador para recibir al excelentísimo señor Daniel Noboa Asim, presidente de la República del Ecuador, de conformidad con el orden del día, documento CP/OD 2592/26, el cual damos por aprobado. Invito a todos los presentes a ponerse de pie para recibir a su excelencia el señor Daniel Noboa Asim, presidente de la República del Ecuador. Me dicen que esperemos unos minutitos, les agradezco su paciencia, ya está por entrar. Gracias, excelencia. Ahora sí, le damos la cordial bienvenida.
A very warm welcome to His Excellency, Mr. Daniel Noboa Asim, President of the Republic of Ecuador.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. Please be seated.
Excelentísimos.
Excellency Daniel Noboa Asim, President of the Republic of Ecuador. Ms. Maria Gabriela Sommerfeld, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Human Mobility of the Republic of Ecuador. Ambassador Monica Palencia, Permanent Representative of Ecuador to the Organization of American States. Christine Nome, Special Envoy for the Shield of the Americas from the United States of America, distinguished authorities and members of the official delegation, distinguished permanent and alternate representatives of the member states of the Organization of American States, Mr. Albert Ramdin, Secretary General of the OAS, Ms. Laura Hill, Assistant Secretary General of the OAS, distinguished permanent observers, special guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for me in my capacity as Chair of the Permanent Council and permanent representative of Costa Rica to the Organization of American States to extend a most cordial welcome to you to this House of the Americas and to welcome His Excellency Daniel Noboa Asin, President of the Republic of Ecuador. The President's presence at this headquarters is a significant moment for the inter-American system and for the Permanent Council, a privileged forum for hemispheric political dialogue and a place where the voices, aspirations, and commitments of our member states converge. Ecuador is a founding nation of this organization and has historically played a committed role in strengthening regional multilateralism and promoting the principles and values enshrined in the OAS Charter. We recognize and deeply value your active participation in defending democratic institutions, political dialogue, regional cooperation, and the pursuit of shared solutions to the shared challenges of our hemisphere. President, your visit goes beyond mere protocol. It constitutes a renewed expression of Ecuador's commitment to this organization and to the principles that underpin our coexistence in this hemisphere: democracy, respect for the rule of law, human rights, security, and integral development. We recognize in your administration a clear willingness to promote an agenda for institutional strengthening, citizen security, the creation of opportunities for new generations, and the building of sustainable and inclusive development. We particularly appreciate the emphasis that your government has placed on security as an indispensable condition for democratic stability, the welfare of our societies, and the prosperity of our peoples. We also appreciate efforts to promote opportunities for youth through employment, innovation, and the active participation of new generations. We also highlight Ecuador's commitment to sustainability and environmental protection, which are key priorities for the future of our region and crucial pillars for moving towards development that is more resilient, balanced, and solidarity-based. Today, more than ever, the Americas need greater levels of cooperation, trust, and regional coordination. We live in times marked by transnational challenges that no state can face in isolation. It is precisely for this reason that the Organization of American States remains in full force as a crucial forum for political understanding, partnership, and consensus building. As permanent representative of Costa Rica, a brotherly country of Ecuador, I would like to highlight the historic ties of friendship and cooperation that unite our nations, as well as our agreement on the defense of multilateralism and institutional strengthening. We also share the conviction that hemispheric challenges require coordinated regional responses, a shared vision, and a staunch commitment to dialogue. President, on several occasions, you have spoken of the aspiration to build the best Ecuador possible. From the Permanent Council, we would also like to extend that aspiration to our hemisphere, to continue working together for the Americas to be safer, more prosperous, and more cohesive, based on cooperation, solidarity, and mutual respect. We must continue to preserve this organization as a place for constructive, ongoing, and transparent dialogue where member states can strengthen mutual trust and move forward together on shared solutions focused on the welfare of our peoples. Mr. President, may you and the Ecuadorian people receive the fraternal greetings of this Permanent Council, as well as our best wishes for success in the important responsibilities that lie before you. You are most welcome here at the Permanent Council of the Organization of American States. Thank you very much.
Ahora sí, seguimos con el orden de...
Continuing with the order of business for this protocolary session, I am pleased to give the floor to the Secretary General of the Organization of American States, Mr. Albert Ramdin. Secretary General, you have the floor.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Daniel Noboa Asin, President of the Republic of Ecuador. Madam Minister of Foreign Affairs and Human Mobility of Ecuador, Maria Gabriela Sommerfield Rosero. Members of the official delegation, welcome. Ambassador Monica Rosa Irene Palencia Nunez, Permanent Representative of Ecuador to the Organization of American States. Ambassador Laura Gil, Assistant Secretary General. Distinguished permanent representatives to the Organization of American States, permanent observers, officials of the General Secretariat, distinguished guests, good morning. Señor Presidente y su delegación.
President, delegation, welcome to the OAS. Thank you so much for being here with us.
We are very pleased and honored to have you at the Organization of the Organization of American States. This premier and historic hemispheric institution connects us all and serves the member states and its people. And while the original goals and purpose of the Organization of American States since 1948 have not changed, realities have evolved and demand more holistic approaches. And I must say, thanks to the dedicated and respected leaders of the past, we are left with values and norms that cherish regional cooperation, a commitment to democracy, to human rights, multidimensional security, and sustainable development. These, Mr. President, are the fundamental rules and regulations, customs and traditions that guide us today. Let us keep cherishing those. And in these evolving and also challenging times, we must find inspiration for discipline, cooperation, and unity, because that will benefit us all. The people of the Americas only want peace and prosperity, nothing else. It is at and through the OAS that we can collectively enhance and deliver these goals. Mr. President, Madam Chair, Ecuador, a founding member of the Organization of American States, occupies a distinguished place in the history of the region. It is a nation that reflects many of the defining elements of America themselves. It was on Ecuadorian soil, through the Battle of Pichincha, that the ideals of independence advanced decisively under the leadership of Marshal Antonio José de Sucre, the trusted collaborator of Simón Bolívar. That victory secured the liberation of Quito and also strengthened the broader vision of cooperation and unity among the nations of the Americas. That continues to resonate in institutions like the Organization of American States. The history unfolded across a territory of remarkable diversity. The convergence of the Andean community, the Pacific coast, the Amazon, and the Galapagos Islands defines not only Ecuador's geography, but also the richness of its social fabric, shaped by the legacy of indigenous civilization, the struggles of independence, and the coexistence of diverse people and traditions. Ecuador has developed a plural society that has enriched its democratic life and its projection at the regional level. The history of Ecuador within the Organization of American States is also inseparable from the legacy of Galo Plaza Lasso, who served as Secretary General from 1968 to 1975. His tenure represented a defining moment of institutional consolidation and a vision of diplomacy grounded in moderation, constructive communication, and practical cooperation among nations. And we thank you for his contribution. Mr. President, your visit today demonstrates Ecuador's continued commitment to the Organization of American States and to multilateralism. Your administration has reaffirmed the importance of this multilateral institution, even in challenging times, while advancing proposals aimed at strengthening collective engagement and regional understanding. At a time when polarization and fragmentation often dominate international discourse, the Americas must continue demonstrating that dialogue remains possible, that cooperation remains necessary, and that multilateralism remains indispensable. The security challenges your administration has to address, especially those linked to organized crime and violence, have demanded resolve, institutional, strong leadership, and difficult decisions taken under significant pressure. In that context, your government has placed the defense of democratic institutions, public order, and citizen security at the center of national priorities. Ecuador's efforts to confront criminal networks that threaten national stability and democratic governance of our societies have not gone unnoticed. Your presence here today, Mr. President, also reflects a broader understanding, that one that says that national efforts must be accompanied by hemispheric dialogue and common efforts. The challenges we face today do not stop at borders. They are interconnected realities requiring collective responses. That spirit of cooperation is deeply consistent with Ecuador's diplomatic tradition within the Organization of American States. Ecuador has worked closely with the OAS in electoral observation missions, and we will continue to support you in strengthening democratic institutions and technical initiatives across the hemisphere. The organization has also worked alongside Ecuador under the multidimensional security approach, combining institutional strengthening with initiatives in areas such as violence prevention and capacity building. And recently we signed an agreement specifically for that purpose, which is being implemented as we speak. These efforts reflect a clear understanding that security and development must advance together. We look forward to your continued commitment and engagement to foster unity. In our conversations, Mr. President, both prior to today and immediately before entering this hall, we spoke about the importance of preserving dialogue, even in moments of disagreement, about the need to build consensus without renouncing principles, and about the shared responsibilities of states to confront the threats affecting our hemisphere with full respect for the rule of law, human rights, and the sovereignty of nations. We spoke about the importance of strengthening joint efforts, not only in security matters, including expanding the capacity of law enforcement institutions to combat organized crime, but also in areas that directly affect the well-being of citizens, especially our young people. In that regard, Ecuador's reflections concerning social cohesion, identity, mental health, and regional integration contribute an important dimension to hemispheric discussion. Mr. President, we have also taken note with interest of Ecuador's proposals under the concept of Americanidad, as well as its initiative to bring before the next General Assembly the topic of innovation in response to criminal convergence. And we look forward to the ongoing debate on these important topics. Mr. President, please accept our warm welcome to this organization. It is our hope that today's visit will further strengthen the long-standing relationship between Ecuador and the Organization of American States and continue contributing to the spirit of understanding, stability, collective progress in our hemisphere. Thank you very much.
Muchísimas
Thank you very much, Secretary General Ramdin. It is now a great honor for me to give the floor to Mr. Daniel Noboa, Sin, President of the Republic of Ecuador. Mr. President, you have the floor.
Ambassador Alejandra Solano, Permanent Representative of Costa Rica and Chair of the Permanent Council, Secretary General Albert Ramdin, Maria Gabriela Sommerfield, Minister of Foreign Affairs, the members from the delegation of Ecuador, Christine Nome, Assistant Secretary General of the OAS, Laura Gil, Ambassador Monica Palencia, Permanent Representative of Ecuador, representatives, observers, and special guests. Ecuador has changed. We realized the scale of this in the commotion in January of 21st, where an armed group barged into a television station, took people hostage, and did this live on the air, and they met their objectives. And now, narcos, violence, criminal organizations are the ones in charge. That's what they wanted, but very soon they learned that we would not allow that to happen. At that time, we were receiving threats. Everyone in our administration, ministers, vice presidents, secretaries, we were all living in a state of commotion, of uncertainty. We were the targets of direct attacks against institutions and the Ecuadorian state. But we never surrendered. We activated all legal mechanisms to address the internal armed conflict. Why do we call it this? It's important to understand some of the numbers. Ecuador has 37,000 members of its armed forces and a large police force. The Lobos, the Choneros, and the Tiburones have more than 80,000 armed members. They're an army. They wear camouflage. In some cases, they commit murders. And then they turn around and complain that their human rights are not respected. They rape and terrorize women and children nationwide. That is the reality. Now, The government is in control. The Ecuadorian state is in control. We no longer give them space. We don't allow our prisons to become universities of crime. We don't allow criminal groups to take control of the prisons. The people, our citizens, are now protected. Unlike the situation with other governments, our administration has done something fundamental. At times when everyone would flee and take off running, we've stayed in place. We are tackling the problems. Physically, we put ourselves on the front lines to assist all of those who were unprotected. That is the citizenry of Ecuador. That is our duty, that is our mission, to offer them an opportunity. This is a state, and these is a people who had completely lost hope. Together, we are stronger. The people of Ecuador were fed up with violence and indifference. And I call upon the OAS to see reality, the reality behind these criminal organizations that affect each and every one of us in all of our countries. Without exception, these criminal groups have penetrated our societies, the political classes, the judiciaries. They have penetrated the private sector and institutions that offer money laundering for drug traffickers. We are on constant alert because it may be that our neighbor is our enemy. We need to work together. We have to find a way to work together. And indeed, to reach a consensus. We all want the best for our peoples. We may have different approaches to that, but at the end of the day, we're all here because we need to be accountable to our citizens. All of these individuals who do believe in a better tomorrow, we work every day to make sure that tomorrow is a better day. Criminality cannot be justified. Cannot justify actions that target the lives of most citizens who all they want is peace. We have to, if we do not act, we're giving everything over. We're handing our country to them on a silver platter. They're able to regroup, to defend themselves. That's what happens when we're not paying attention. And then we forget why it is we're here. That is not something we can do. Now, what can we do? I am going to switch to English because we have so many people here who are English speakers.
Pragmatic, and we need to use our strength, our unity, for the benefit of our people. We need to understand that some nations are willing to help and some nations simply don't want to help. And value and cherish the ones that would like to help, and understand but maintain a certain distance of the ones that are not helping us at all. Our people deserve better. Our nations deserve better. The young people that voted for us deserve better. In our continent, and this is proven on many studies, we value happiness. Latin America and the Caribbean value happiness in some degree, much more, in some degree a little more than other continents. People want to live well. People want to have joy. Families want to be together. Our citizens and our people don't want to travel or migrate to other nations. They like their own nations. They like their own food. They like their own sports. They like the way that their families interact and stay together. And we need to help them achieve that joy. For them, it is extremely valuable. For us, members of Latin American and Caribbean states, is important. Today I'm here not to give bad news. I'm here to tell you how hope can be stronger than violence, and how maintaining that hope in a nation that almost lost it completely has resulted in progress. Our nation is growing above 3.5%. Our inflation is under 2%. We have record deposits and record consumption at the same time. That means that it's not only that we're spending more, but we're saving in the equal proportion as our spending. Our poverty index is at our lowest point in history with 21.4%. And our youth finally has a chance to study, to work, and to have a better life. But it's our duty now to work in security, to work jointly in security, and to work jointly on development. Something that I mentioned yesterday with another important official is that people cannot eat reform, and people don't like to eat bullets. People like to work, people like to study. Our youth wants to study, wants to work, wants to have a better life. But we need to give them the security needed so that they can have that good life that they deserve. Peace needs strong and firm decisions, because time is what's most expensive, and we don't have much time. People in violent neighborhoods don't have much time. Families that don't have basic services don't have much time. And we need to sustain that hope. The only way to sustain it will be valuing time and helping them achieve their dreams, helping them achieve prosperity, and giving them the joy and the happiness that they've been looking for several years. I want to thank the authorities here. I want to thank the people that have been kind to invite us at this moment. And thank you all for your attention. I hope that this message can be transmitted also to your heads of state. I will always work and fight together with nations that want to give peace and economic development to their population. Thank you very much.
Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you very much, President Noboa, for that message that you've shared with us. I'd like to thank everyone who attended this session today. Before adjourning the meeting, I would like to invite the representatives, the permanent representatives, to please file out in an orderly manner, starting with those closest to the exit. We are in order of precedence, so please proceed to the Hall of the Heroines and Heroes of the Americas. And President Noboa, his delegation, and those from the main table will have the formal greetings. Thank you all for participating today. The meeting stands adjourned.